Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Roll Up and Roll Out, where we talk with business owners who may or may not have their GED, but every single one of them knows how to get shit done. Today, we've got Matt Shepard with us with Shepard Consulting. Matt, thank you for joining us today. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what got you into what you're doing.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I started out in the Denver metro, let's say 20 years ago, as doing real estate investment. I bought fix and flips, buy and holds, rented them out. And I'm a fourth generation tradesperson, if I want to call myself a tradesperson. So grandpa started out as carpenter, or great grandpa started out as carpenter. Grandpa helped him. Dad did a little bit of everything, and I guess I do a little bit of everything too as a GC. So the real estate investing, was simple to just put in sweat equity, add value to properties that way, get them ready for rentals, get them ready to sell. And then that kind of morphed into a GC firm. I guess that's been going on for 10 years plus in the Denver metro. And the GC firm kind of took off, but it also took a lot of management on my side. So in the last 2 or 3 years, since AI has come to the forefront, I've been trying to fix bottlenecks, holdups, time sucks in my GC firm with AI. So now I'm actually putting the GC firm on the back burner because now it's kind of running itself with AI and automations. So now I've got time to help other business owners do AI and automations for their business.
AI and automation. Automations have been, a thing for quite a while. Back in my time in automotive and stuff, the amount of automations that you have through a CRM process into service through the shop. AI though has been around for a while, not necessarily as forefront as it is now, and not necessarily as public facing as now. Like when you started diving into AI, did you have a kind of already some experience in dealing with automations and processes, and so being able to grab the AI and understand how to give it basically flow commands and directions versus I think the way most people use it is we just casually talk to AI and expect it to be intelligent and talk back to us, right? Like what was your experience level prior to diving into AI and what's really allowed you to be successful with using it?
Um, I want to say that I have the unique ability to hit my head against the wall until it works.
Something to be said about that.
So anything that I do, I will try and do and figure out until I can absolutely make it work.
Yeah.
Whether it's building a house, fixing a house, etc. I mean, I just brought that to AI, and over the last 2 years, have been figuring out how to make AI work better for my business, and then now make it work better for other people's business. I mean, I guess I started out just by having a conversation with AI, and then tried building things with AI that were like basic workflows, and then advanced into now I have workflows basically that you could have a conversation with an AI assistant, voice, text, whatever you want, email, and sometimes a lot of people don't even know that they're having a conversation with my AI instead of me. I was vetting a property manager in a different state in the last couple of weeks and had my AI introduce itself as so and so Matt's AI assistant, and that person kind of forgot that it was an AI and just basically had a normal conversation. And instead of me having to have, a bunch of conversations back and forth with this property manager, I basically had my AI do the same thing over a matter of a week and vet this person to see if they were a good property managing fit.
Sure. How much trial and error did it take you to get your AI to a point where it could have kind of casual ish conversations with people that were reaching out to you? Because I know I've been on some sites, I've made some phone calls into some fairly large companies, and immediately I can tell it's AI and it's clunky, it feels unnatural, and like handoff processes are an absolute disaster. So, like, how much time and detail did you put into making sure like this is a refined system that people are talking to?
I mean, like I said, when I hit my head against the wall and want to get something done, I'll put a ton of time into it. I mean, I don't know if I've had less than a 60-hour week in the last 2 years trying to, manage everything else that I've got going on and then slowly replace my management with AI. So, I mean, I've been working on it hard for certainly a year and a half, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of training that goes in. There's a bunch of refinement. A couple of times, I'll find somebody who's sympathetic, a real person, and make them uh, engage with my AI so that I can train it a little better, make it a little better. I have real estate investment firm, and I have a longtime investor who's turned into being a good friend. And I was working on something. I think it was just kind of an AI chat that you could ask questions of it and learn more about myself. And I was like, hey, you've known me for 15 years or whatever. Like, would you just mind, having a conversation for an hour with this AI chatbot or whatever it was? And he was like, oh, I hate those things. They suck. They never work right. And like an hour later, he's like texting me back, like, oh my God, this thing's amazing. Like, I would totally use this normally. So, I mean, I feel like it's the same as anything. If you want to get it done, you'll get it done. I put a ton of time in and worked hard and beat my head against the walls and got it done.
Well, but that's what's interesting about the AI right now is like I think there were a lot of people that jumped into it assuming that they could just quickly whip to something together and get it out there to the masses and it would work. And I can honestly tell you, I've interacted enough with AI that I can tell the difference between somebody that's actually an architect, probably more likely like yourself, and somebody that just saw an opportunity, threw it together, and then sold it as a package. Because the AI is not, as much as we want to say AI is intelligent, AI is only as good as the prompts, the structure, the workflows, and the data and information that it's given, right? And to do that, you have to be pretty tedious about what it is that you want the expected outcomes to be. Casual conversation doesn't always have expected outcomes. So, like, the framework between programming that on a chatbot or on a phone call is probably a lot different than training my AI to go in and download all of my call files, dump them into a folder, pull them from that folder, and then process them, score them, rate them, and then put them into my Go High Level as notes, right? Like, two very different things. Have you noticed that there's a different skill set involved in those two things? Or is it one of those things that you found that once you really understand the skeletal structure of AI, it's just kind of copy and paste around the way and then filling in with what you expect it to have for outcomes and results?
I mean, that's like a deep conversation. We could have a 3 hour podcast about that. I mean, I think if you want to make something good, you'll make something good. If you want to just make something that somebody will pay you a few bucks for, you'll make something somebody will pay you a few bucks for. I mean, I literally will go through with my AI and have a conversation for 3 hours. And I know that AI will probably only have maybe a 5 or 10 minute conversation with a live human. But that 3 hours of me iterating through its possible scenarios, making it sound more human, making it sound more empathetic, whatever I want it to do, or just collecting the data. Sometimes you have to train the AI to make sure that it gets the 6 data points. If you're a plumber, like you want to know what's wrong, when they need you to fix it, and like what their address is and how they're going to pay probably. So you want to make sure your AI gets those 6 specific things, but then you kind of want it to be a little sympathetic, like, oh, I'm sorry your basement's flooded. We can get out there tomorrow. Like, but I still need your address, your payment form, stuff like that. So iterating through those things is, I think, what makes the difference between somebody who really wants their product, for lack of a better term, to shine, or
Yeah,
somebody who just wants to get paid $10 for an AI chatbot that sounds like every other AI chatbot.
sure. And maybe the better way for me to phrase that is from when you work with other business owners as a consulting side of it, right? What are some things that an owner can simply kind of do on a face level when they're dealing with an AI consultant, right? To validate and verify if what they're actually doing is legit or if it's just going to be a giant waste of time, because there are a lot of giant wastes of time out there, and that's in any industry. But
I mean, I guess I would probably say, how much time is the consultant willing to put in with you? I mean, I'll put in as much time on the front end as I think is necessary. Typically, there's some forms that I like to get, like, what do you see like your biggest pain point is and stuff like that. Basic information, but then like I'll get into the business side. Um, like, I know some businesses really love Slack. I kind of hate Slack, but I still build around Slack for people. But some businesses love email. And, you know, the thing that I bring usually is trying to really find out how you like to run your business and trying to build my systems around that. And then the other thing too, like, just the practical side of it. A lot of the things that I automate, I've actually had to be in the middle of, for lack of a better term. Um, like a guy that I met with does waste disposal, all forms of waste disposal. But a lot of his big business, like his repeat business, is just construction roll offs. And his thing is like, any AI bot or anything like that has to be bilingual, has to be both Spanish and English. And I've ran into that in my GC firm, right? Because, I have Spanish speaking subcontractors and stuff like that. So I build AI systems basically unique to every company that I work with.
sure, no,
So if you run into somebody who's not willing to, put a few hours in and understand your business in a deep, meaningful way, then that's probably not the right person for you.
sure. Well, it makes sense. It's kind of like anything, in terms of service providers, in my opinion, is how in depth are they willing to go with your business to truly understand what it is that you do, how you operate, how you want to operate, and then are they capable of building something around that, or are they just trying to slap on a framework that they believe works for everybody? And in some cases, some do, but I've found that most cases that's not true because every business is operated uniquely. There are definitely foundational things that we all have to do that are pretty standardized across most industries, but there's that like 2 to 5% that is very different and very unique per owner or owner group, right? So I get that part. So what, like, from like your standpoint, right? You grew up kind of in the trades, being around the trades. Um, what was it about like AI and automations that drew your attention initially?
I guess I just really wanted to get out of the like monotony type things and be able to do things that I liked and do things that were higher value. Figuring out a schedule and telling guys where they need to be is pretty monotonous, pretty low value, but it has to be done. You spend, I don't know, 10 hours a week probably texting subs saying, hey, are you ready to start on such and such job on Monday? Getting back and forth with them. And then they're like, oh, well, this job is running a little over, so maybe I can't start till Tuesday. So then you're back and forth on that. All of a sudden you burnt 10 hours of your day just texting back and forth trying to organize this sub. And those are things that I can easily replace with AI. My AI can text back and forth and say, "Hey, you're starting on such and such job on Monday. Like, are you ready?" And then they're like, "Oh, well, I just need to wrap up this one job, and then I'll be over there on Tuesday." And it's like, okay, that's fine. And then my AIs can adjust the timing schedule and then push the next tradesperson off a couple of days too, stuff like that. It really just was me wanting to spend more time on the things that I considered to be high value and the things that I like. Sometimes, truthfully, I just like sticking my earbuds in my ears and wiring a house. Or I've never really done much tile because I think there's better tile people, but something like that. Like
Yeah, I get
maybe I
you.
just want to build a deck, or maybe I just want to do something manual with my hands for a while and not have to take those texts from subcontractors. So being able to do the things I want to do, being able to do the things that need to be done on an automated process without me was my big kind of draws into getting into AI.
Cool. Well, we are coming up on our time here. So if and I have a lot of listeners that are in the blue collar home service spaces. So I know it probably isn't even an if. This is probably a matter of when this episode comes out and gets listened to by some of these people. I'm sure there are going to be some that are interested in working and reaching out to you. What is the easiest and best way for somebody to kind of engage and find you?
Probably my website. I mean, Shepard, Shepard, consulting.ai. You can link to my email there. You can talk to my chatbots there. You can fill out a form there and say, what's like the one thing that's the biggest pain point in my business and how can AI solve it? I've got AI there that'll kind of walk you through that process and figure that out for you. And then you can always just schedule a call with me there, and you have 10, 15, 20, 30-minute call and see if where you're at is a good fit for me and if I'm a good fit for you.
Cool. Matt, I appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining us and sharing the information. AI is so prevalent. It's refreshing to come across someone that has actually spent a lot of time understanding and refining it, and really, I think finding the true value of AI versus some of the surface level stuff that's out there, the novelty things. So, truly, like this was a good conversation because I think people need to know there's a difference out there.
I think my big thing is I want to help small and medium sized businesses compete with larger businesses, and they can totally do so with AI, with the help of AI. And I don't want them to get left behind by a big company that can adopt AI faster. So I really want, small and medium sized businesses to succeed using AI and probably provide better service and, be more successful maybe than these big businesses.
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree with you. Those small to medium that's a backbone, and we need more of them to be successful moving forward for everything to kind of stabilize and come back out. So, like I said, appreciate your time. For those listening, again, like and share, get this out there. There's always information that's here that can be good for you or somebody you know. We have business owners, mostly in the blue collar and home service space, sharing information, life stories, situations, and a lot of you guys that listen can take advantage of this. I'm sure some of you can relate to it. Until next episode, thank you.